Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your brother L. We back. Check it out now. Little track I've been working on, getting set up for you all today. How y'all feel out there? Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me loud and clear solo? Yeah. Just like that. I'm liking it, man. Count down 5, 6. And then back into the track. Go. All right, y'all. So what the heck is he doing? Let's get into it. I'll let you know right away. All right. So this is the sampler, right? And the idea behind this, what I did was I sang a tone. I just went, and then that point when that tone wasn't oscillating or wavering in frequency so much, I truncated it. So you see what I'm saying? See, you can make it shorter. Right? And if you need it to stretch out to get like a micro adjustment, go into the sample. Okay. Stretch the sample. I got it playing in a Japanese key. Basically, I just went in here and said, oh, got some choices of keys here. I could play Mixolydian. I'm sorry, Mixolydian. I'm thinking about, what is that, Nickelodeon? Oh my God, crazy. I was just attracted to the Japanese scale. So I just, okay. But what's all this ambience, this room, this sound that's, you know, making it sound like it's bigger than it really is? What's that? Well, that's the reverb that I put on there. You see, I turned it all the way up. And I changed it. Let's see here. To do so, you just click, and then you go right here where it says Master Effects. I went to Reverb, and I got more options. I went to Moon Dome, and I guess that's a really big, kind of spacey reverb. Reverb is a room simulation. So the essence for today's class is pretty simple. There's a lot of control within these synthesizers and these instruments, right? And to get the most out of them, what do? All right? So we're going to kind of go into some of the things. Right now, we're showing you bits about the sampler, okay? So you sample something in, it's real simple. If you wanted a new sample, you go, boom, hit start, new sample. I like my sample. I'm not going to erase it. Go back to it. There it is. All right. But you might not always want it exactly that way, right? So I got the reverb on. I could turn it off. Put echo on it. What is echo? A delay. It's a copy of the sound within a certain frequency of time. Okay. I want that reverb though. Yeah. That's so cool. Also, I want you to notice something. The architecture of these instruments, right, are set up in a way where you play on the screen matters. It's a little louder up here, a little softer down here. Everything matters. So, what if you had like some synthesizers and you want to turn knobs? You know, you want to adjust the cutoff, you want to adjust the modulation. Well, you can do certain things like that. Let's go into one of these synthesizers. Okay. So, where you don't have a bunch of knobs, you have a bunch of control that's built into the architecture of how you engage with GarageBand. So, right here, I'm just playing a little staccato stab. Now I'm going to continue to play it up the key. Right? That's real interesting. And then you have different arrangements of that particular sound. So different configurations of that sound. That's the ring, the rising oscillation. Sounds like it's rising. Okay. Let's go to the foreboding drone. Vibrating down. Pretty cool. I love this stuff. Now I'm going to show you something that's going to trip you out. The iPad knows its position. I'm just picking it up. Let me make a safe landing. See, today is about controls. How do you control these tools that we're creating with, right? We're going to record a phrase, and we're going to mix it. We're going to do it all in one, right? So let me break this track apart. Okay, I showed you about the sampler portion. The sampler is super cool because basically, literally, you're making your own instrument. It could be a sound in the street. It could be a clap, a snap. You know, it could be a lot of things. It all depends on you. You know, so the way I would think about it as things that we could do with the architecture of the sound. Okay. And where you don't have a bunch of tactile knobs to turn within GarageBand, they've built in the interface of how you engage with your fingers, okay, how you engage with the altimeter, which is knowing the position basically of the GarageBand, of the tablet itself, right? That's something you can work with. And then obviously you could work with your own interest of how you hear a sound, okay? So I got in here some drums. real simple. So I came up with a pattern, that was kind of the pattern of that one song, right? But let's check it out. Let's go a little further into how these things work. Right? That's just one finger. Did you hear that? You hear the difference? It sounds like two fingers hitting it. Slightly delayed if I'm doing like this, like a flam. Right? Drum, bass drum. A little softer. Right? So where you don't have the force to actually hit the bass drum louder or softer, you can apply by position. You can apply your volume by the position. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The programming of this is sick, right? So lots of times you want to hit the cymbal and the bass drum at once. They thought about that. So you go. Got it? Now, what about all you snare heads? Okay, I could hold it. I could do rim shot. I'm tapping on the rim, becomes a rim shot. That's not a rim shot anymore, right? Rim shot. It knows its position. What about the hi-hat? Open, close. All of these tools together, you know, combined make for interesting. I think you're all starting to get it, right? The same way I was engaging with the synthesizer, I'm engaging with the drums, okay? Now, let's get into Mr. Quincy. Okay, so before I change this around, I need to duplicate this track. So imagine you got something going on real good and you don't want to mess it up. Like I think I got something going on real good here. I'm going to click and hold and duplicate this track. So I could mess about this track as much as I want and then go back to my other one and it's still safe, you know, so we can experiment all we want to. This is part of using these controls to create beautiful phrases, okay? Then we'll add some additional parts and back to my favorite thing, arranging, editing, editing, okay? This particular track, I just let it go. I worked in an 8-bar arrangement, but it's like I say, it's totally up to you. But the idea of working in smaller increments is just about the control and being able to be a good accountant of your procedure, right? You want to be able to check out everything. So let's solo this. How we solo? Okay, solo, pull it out. Let's listen to it. There's no swing on it, right? But it could be. Let's listen to the rhythm. Okay, let's go. Let's put a heavy swing on it so we go from no swing to heavy swing. How many people hear the difference? Y'all hear the difference? Let's go back to no swing at all. Right. I wonder if I like it with the swing. Let's try it again. Let's put a light swing on it. Not too bad. Let's add some other things in here. Remember I told you about the quadrants. We want him to play soft. Dynamics is everything. So like if I play this track back with him playing soft, let's see what it sounds like. You hear him again now, soft. It's almost like he's out. He's just a subtle texture. And then all of those things combined, we work them. Maybe some hand claps, bring them up louder. Okay, let's get back to our arrangement. We got that bass going on, let's take it out. Go back to our synthesizer. Let's go to the 4-body and drone and bring it back in. Yeah, I know I'm ready for Blade Runner 3. So what happened here? Are you all watching these knobs move as I move this? Right? You can move the knobs independently. Less grain effect, more modulation. No reverb at all. Really super for sound effects. You can record just something like that and then compose it back, you know, and actually apply it back in the track. Right? I love it. But let's put some reverb on it. Boom. 4-body and drum. There's cool, right? You got different sizes of keys you can work with. I got the largest one right here, but you can make it smaller. You can make it even smaller. So now you got 1, 2, 3 octaves. You know, 2 octaves is pretty cool because I got big fingers. And it's kind of hard anyway with this little bit here. I wish it was bigger, but you know the iPad's only so big, and this is just a an iPad Pro. Now, I think the size is, I don't know, whatever the iPad Pro, the one they made last year, that size is, I'm not certain. We got an arpeggiator, and then we could play chords. That's always cool because remember I told you about the, what? Settings, exactly. Okay, you can change all your settings. All right, and that's a real fundamental idea. Everything here is like liquid. Nothing is set in stone that you have to work with it or engage with it in a certain way, right? That's just like someone would say, well, you can only use this color like this at this particular time in that position. And you're like, huh? What's going on with that? We're not into that. We into freedom. Our freedom to create, right? I know that's right. So, let's see what else we got in this track. Mm-hmm. Boom. We got bass. Let's listen. Let's listen to that bass solo. Ooh, did you hear that note? Let's go back. I know you musicians out there heard that, right? I played 2 notes at the same time, and the bass is really monophonic in some ways, anyway. And it didn't sound so cool, but it's funny how that works, because when you bring the entire track back in, you don't really pay attention to that much, right? Let me get rid of that clap. I think that clap has taken me into another vibe. Okay, so let's get back to that bass. So what I did, I hit more than one note. Check this out. You can just move your finger up. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Could do it that way. That's pretty cool, right? We could do notes. This is almost like playing the bass on a bass. Now this is something I found out. You can lift a string, bend a note. That's super cool, right? I love that. Loving it. And also you can switch different bass sounds, right? You got a pick bass. What would a pick bass mean, right? You would use an actual guitar pick. Sounds more percussive because it's being picked. A harder attack on it. So imagine this probably would sound more aggressive if you were to use this, right? I'm digging that. What about the P bass? What's this? Loving that. Ooh, you hear all that resonance in the strings? You hear that? That sounds slick. Boom, boom. Yes. I like it. Now, you also have other instruments here as well that can be utilized in a certain way. What about this light cycle? Let's check it out. Changes the interface quite a bit. It's kind of based on like the 303. I'm sorry, the TB303 from Roland. If you can actually see it, it's got this little bitty image right here. But how to make it like a real 303, let's go here. And then we would put the autoplay on, and then it would simulate. It's making phrases for us. now as a 303, like people would just like y'all like that? So I'm messing around with the cutoff and the resonance. That's cool. I got an idea. What happens when you just want to start all over again? Well, within this track, I could just delete because I like some things already, but I don't need to have those in. Let's delete it. Let's start again. Let's pick us a key. What's the key we working in today, gang? Let's see. Let me look at the people. Okay. What key we working in, people? Okay. How about the key of D? Okay. Today, James Brown said we're gonna do it in D. And today that's what we're gonna do. D for do. Do D. Yes. The tempo. I don't know what the tempo should be. I'm just gonna figure it out. I feel like this is a tempo. You could tap the tempo, right? And it will take an average of your taps. I think you have to tap it at least 3 or 4 times. Let's just figure that out. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's 3 to 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's 4 times. Okay. So you have to tap it in sequence 4 times, a steady rhythm. But let's go back to that 121. That's kind of a special number. Okay, let's go. Let's bring back our, not that one, but I love that instrument. Let's go into our TB303 simulation. That's dope. Something else that we need to do, right? We're gonna work in 4-bar increments. Remember? Okay, so let's record this. Okay, that's what we'll do. Hey, let's do it one more time. You know why it's doing that, right? Because I didn't erase that first section, but now it's gone. It won't do that anymore. So we want to go do 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 do. All right, so let's bring it back. Remember. Now it's in there. Ooh, and we can still tweak. It didn't record that. You can record this in there, but I'm not gonna record it in right now. But just to show you, let's record it in. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, maybe you have to have it playing to do it. Oh, it has to be recorded in at the time that you're actually playing it. So, and then you'll record the control in. See, that's the reason why this is a collaborative class, because we are learning together these controls. Every time I touch this device, I learn something new, another tool to create. And now we're working on the phrase. Let's get back to it. All right, let's find us some drums. Get that classic drum machine. Not crate digger. Let's find some. What's this Dembo? Okay, let's take that house drum. Okay, so there's a couple ways we could interface with this. I can record the 4 on the floor foot. Let's do that. 6, 7. That's cool. Let's record that. You heard it get a little low? So what happens when you want to go in and just edit that? We just double click it, edit. Now let's look at what happened here. These are all the notes represented. That's not the phrase. That's the bass phrase. We want the drums. So hold, edit. There we go. And we can control the velocity of these drums. That's the foot, bass drum. You can go along the side, you see all your instruments. You can hear them. You can audition them on the side just in case, right? So let's just find out the ones that were really low and bring them up. That's cool. That was low. For one more time, let's just go with what's low again? Okay, that one's low. So we click, double click. Velocity comes up. All right, now, velocity. Let's see what happens now. We don't always have to play from the beginning. If we double click in the timeline, right, that velocity, let's bring that up. All right, now let's double click in the timeline, it'll play. You got it? That's cool. So we got, go boom. And we missing a rise symbol. So let's put one in there. So you just drag over your pen tool and click it in there. And within that, you can, change the length of the note. You see how I did that? Super simple, undo it. We don't like it. Let's just input a note in, turn it off, and let's play it. What we're working right here is a step editor. Very interesting, because the way we did this, we can actually control the entire track of drums this way. What if we want to put in some put that in on the offbeat, huh? How would we do it? We just go in, see, and put it in. I put that one in, and I need to take it out. See? But is that what the spacer is supposed to go? No, right here. So if you can't see something, that's also a problem. As you notice, you can contract or expand to see different degrees of time within here. So I'm just opening and expanding, and I can see different divisions, right? Okay, I got a kick on every quarter note. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, right? A kick on every beat. That's why they call it 4 on the floor. We're working in the meter, 4, 4. Okay, so now we're going to put, and let's just see if this is right. That's cool. That's one way to do it. We could erase them. Undo, undo. Let's try something. I don't know if it'll work, but I'll see. Oh, you can't record. Only step edited here. So, all right. So we got that. And we can get out of there because we corrected everything that we need. But let's go back to the drum. See, now let's play. That's pretty cool, so let's put it in there. 2, 3, 4. Now it's time to add some more drums. One thing that I've discovered here that I wish I had more control over is the level of the drums. So like, what if I wanted to increase the bass drum, but not the actual ride or the cymbal, right? I only have control of the entire track, right? And within that, you got a few different controls. You have your bass, your treble. We can add a little compression. Probably want to do that anyway. Probably turn up the bass a little bit. But that's a fairly limited amount of control because, you know, while we're mixing, right, we might want to just turn up one instrument. So I figured a workaround for that. The workaround to just get the particular note, right? And it's pretty simple. The workaround is just, let's just duplicate the track. You can double click, duplicate, and it duplicates with nothing, right? So let's go in here and erase, edit. Let's see. Let's erase that off the, let's see if we can. Going to erase. Delete. Sometimes I'm able to delete all these. Sometimes a lasso, oh, there it goes, and select all, but that's not what I want to do. Okay. And delete. I wonder if I do this. So yeah, I have to delete all these. Okay, so now we're back. Let's go, get out of there. Get to our other drum. All right, so let's record that. 6, 7, 8. And now I have 2 independent tracks. So I could treat this one different. I could even put an effect on it. Reverb. Can you hear? Put the reverb back in there. reverb, but now it's on everything. I love that. Okay. So now let's add some more music. Let's get back to we got some drums here. Let's get to some electronic drums. What's blowing speakers? That's gonna be interesting with a reverb on it. Let's put some reverb on it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Some other things. What's going on with this? So we're going to create let's try this Magnus. We already playing the cymbal, so there's no need for that. We'll just take it out. Take out the fills. Let's put follow. Nah, we wanted to do its own thing. I like that. It's groovy. That's just bass, drums, a little bit of creative mixing. Yeah. Just a word to the wise. Sometimes I'm actually controlling the screen here. So sometimes my elbow or my finger may hit the control of the screen. So if there's ever a time where the camera is not where you need it to be, let me know and I'll adjust it, okay? Let's take a moment to add my social media, okay? Let's do that for a few moments. And let me check these comments to see what's going on out here in the world. Okay, I'm back. 1 2 1 2. All right, gang. What should we add on here to make this into something even more interesting? Well, I still got my sample in here. I can play it and see if it sounds right. Got my sample. I think that sounds good as a transitional tone. Right? We're gonna record it one more time. I'm hitting it on the one, so it's not recording. So let's do it together. 2 and 3 and. That was way too loud, so I'm hit it right about here. Remember, music is about dynamics. I didn't hold it long enough, but that's okay. It was at least recorded in the right position. So if I didn't hold it long enough, I just go in and I edit it. How long do I want it? Okay, let's just give it 2 counts. Right? That's cool. And I promise you, that's Brother L. I did not load a sample in there. I did not do anything special. Well, I am special, but I ain't doing anything special. I will tell you that. I will tell you the secret. One secret. So one thing that I did do before I engaged this Japanese instrument, right? What I did do is I went in. Let's turn this off. And I played with the scales. So it's like, I made chords. So almost like a chorus, a choral group singing. All you vocalists out there know that when you hear this, that's not C. But don't matter, because if it sounds good, it is good. Right? Right. And back to the track. I want to turn that down a little bit to give it kind of like a subtle thing that's going on here. Now let's find another instrument to add up in there. Well, I'm going to duplicate this one. Go back, hold, click and hold. Sometimes it works. There we go. Duplicate. Now, I can go in here and I go into these transition effect sounds. I don't know. What do you think? Let's go back to our Japanese scale. Now, that's cool, but not for what we need. I think we need something a little bit more melodic, right? There's some arpeggiated sounds in here. Okay, that happens sometimes. The iPad didn't know its position. Camera covered. Okay, there we go with that. Sometimes the iPad has a mind of its own. But most of the time I'm controlling it. All right. Let's get into some arpeggiated things. What does this 70s arpeggiator sound like? Maybe if we play the chord version of this. No. Let's try that. So it didn't really get right until that second bar. So, I'm sorry, the third bar. So let's take it from the third bar and let's just cut it. Split, double click, split. There we go. Let's get it out of there. Delete. Copy. And then just paste. That's kind of slick. I hear that. And then back to the next one. I'm digging that. So it'll start at the warm section and then it'll go into the steel tremolo. We need something else. We need another sound. I'm saving my Blade Runner sound. Okay, what could we add here? What we thinking, gang? Okay, let's see here. Have we worked with strings? We have, but we kind of got these evolving textures. So maybe we don't want to work with strings so much because I feel like we need something a little bit staccato, maybe not so staccato, but not legato. Or do we? What about this guitar? What's this retro wah? What does that sound like? Oh, now Brother L gonna get his Guns N' Roses. Y'all need to stop playing with me. This is just too cold. Okay, but then let me get back to this track. Maybe not this. I recorded it. Let's see what it really sounds like. 1, 2, and 3, and go. Let's see here. This should go there. Okay, we can straighten that out in the editor. Let's edit that. Edit. I want you to get used to being able to go and edit things, right? Because if you don't see what you need to see, the rhythmatic division you need, you just pull it out. Okay? 2-finger pull. Okay? To contract it, just bring it back together. Okay? This is that note. So we go. And then we go. That's the note I want. Let's try that. See. I think that'll sound right. As you notice, this is not quantized. That starts on the 1. That doesn't. You see what I mean right here? That one doesn't either. These subtle differences in timing can give, you know, some of this program music more interesting feel to it. Let's listen. And I want this to go down in velocity. So, and I want this one to come up in velocity. Let's try it now. Okay, so let's do something. Let's add something to signify this G. So let's add some more musical instrumentation. Let's find something. We need, I'm going to the synthesizer, you know me. Well, because I go to the synthesizer because there's so many instruments and sounds you can choose from. So it just kind of helps. Everybody know what G is, right? C, D, E, F, G. And the key of C is the 5th. But we're not in the key of C, are we? We're in the key of D. The 5th of D is what? Anybody know? Of course you all do. D, E, F, G. I don't know if that's what we're looking for, but let's see. Play. No. That's not what we're looking for. But we're gonna get there. That's cool. Let's try it out. That's it. So let's go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's got to be on the 1. So I need to. So let's try now. It's cool, but it feels rhythmatically wrong. In time, it's the wrong time. So what we can do, we can start off with it. So let's just start off with it and see if it'll change the vibe. 2. Oh yeah, now I think we got something to work with. Let's get our effects going. Start dropping stuff out, right? Bring it on down. That guitar, a little extra treble. Introduce that same space, just a little bit of reverb up in there. know how I love improvisational interpretive music. You hear that reverb? The simulation of the room. Okay, so let's run it back. Today, we worked on some of the controls of GarageBand's instruments so that we can actually hone in and, you know, tailor the sound to our liking, right? To make it something interesting for us and to make it not as generic, right? Because if you start twisting knobs, which you don't really have knobs here, you do have these controls. And where GarageBand doesn't have knobs, it has really smart architecture in the way that you engage with these tools. Like, that's modulation. You see that? Okay, and then you have other controls. So you don't see a bunch of knobs here, but the level of control is really vast, okay? So we went into that, we created some things. We worked out a way of mixing that can kind of circumvent the fact that you can't have individual tracks for, let's just say, a drum. What did we do, right? We went in and we put that cymbal just on one track. Remember? Right? So we could take it out. We could have done that for the bass drum. I think it would have been a great idea to do it for the bass drum, actually. If there's an order of operation I would have done, I would have laid the 4 on the floor first, right? And then I would have went in and maybe laid the timekeeping instrument, which is, you know, probably some type of cymbal. Hold, you share, go song. I got it as uncompressed wave, but if you're gonna send it to me, just send me a high quality MP3, which is fine. Okay, and then you just share it, boom. And where you share it, you're gonna send it to a Dropbox or a SoundCloud or, you know, a Google Drive, right? And then you're gonna upload it from there. And then you're gonna take that link that you've uploaded and then you're gonna place it in the chat so I can hear what you've been doing so we could talk about some of these things, okay? Okay, this class is cool. You are kind of like looking over my shoulder and seeing how I work. And it's important because to see how other artists work, you can kind of learn things about yourself. And remember, sound is a tool for everyone, okay? It's not just for musicians. We all speak and we need to be heard. It's just another language to communicate. And until then, I will see you. Peace. This is Brother L. Brother L, y'all. The brother name is.